Am I wrong for finding out my wife of 4 years has a fake Instagram and is following my exes? Hi Reddit. My wife, Claire, and I have been married for 4 years. We have been together for a total of 7 years. During this time, nothing like this has ever happened. She is honestly the most drama-free person I know. We have rarely ever argued during our time together, and she is very mature when conflict arises and will come talk to me about the situation calmly. She has also never been outwardly jealous or bitchy when it has come to other girls in my life, including exes. Before Claire, I had had 3 serious girlfriends. The most serious of the 3 was a girl I dated when I was 16 named Hannah. I was just a teenager and I thought I was in love, so it was a very dramatic relationship with all those hormones thrown into the mix. I was very cut up when she left me for another guy, but eventually I got over it. We were in contact for a while through Facebook. She is now married, with children, and it was nothing more than a hi and bye sort of thing. I eventually removed her because we simply did not talk anymore. The other 2 were nothing special, just girls I dated and it didn't work out. I have always told Claire the truth, and was very open with her about my past, especially about Hannah because that had been my longest and most emotionally involved relationship prior to Claire. Claire has never exhibited any crazy, jealous behavior. She asked normal questions regarding Hannah, what had happened, etc., but nothing at all that would ring any alarms. She never seemed to be upset at all when we discussed the past, and she never brought it up beyond our conversations. This whole thing is so out of left field and so very unlike her that I am extremely confused and shocked. We both have Instagrams, and sometimes we will take a selfie on the other person's Instagram, if they've gone to the bathroom and left their phone, with a weird face or something and tag it as #ClaireWasher or #MikeWasher. Today, we were just lounging around having a lazy Saturday, watching TV. She went to go take a shower and left her phone on the coffee table. So I go to take a silly selfie and tag it when I notice her Instagram looks really weird. Instead of her pictures, it was pictures of someone else, and the name Cecilia was in the description box. The username was different, and this account had about 10 followers, as opposed to the 65 people they were following. I clicked to see who they were following, and I was stunned to see my 3 exes plus other girls who are friends/co-workers with me on the list. The more I scrolled through the followers, the more girls I knew/know popped up. Girls I'd been to school with, girls I work with, my exes, Hannah's husband even. I quickly put her phone back, and when she came out of the shower I acted as nothing was wrong, because I honestly have no idea what the hell to even say. Is she keeping tabs on my exes/women I know? Does she have other fake accounts where she checks what they post? And more importantly, why? Why would she do this? I can't understand it. Is she looking for contact between us or inappropriate posts or what? Please help me, Reddit. I am a bad liar and can't keep this bottled in for much longer. Eventually she will know something is up, and I need to figure out how to talk to her about this. I just feel so blindsided. This is honestly the last thing I would expect from her. How should I approach this so she won't freak out? Update 1. First, thank you to everyone for your comments and advice, especially to those of you who admitted doing similar things before. It really did help me when thinking of what to say to her. Today, I decided to approach her when we were calm and relaxed after breakfast. The conversation went like this. Me, hey, can I ask you something? Claire, yeah, of course. Me, who's Cecilia? Claire, tenses up, Me, I was going to take a selfie on your Instagram last night when you went to shower, and I noticed it wasn't logged into your Instagram. It was some other account, a woman named Cecilia? Claire, oh. Me, oh? She went quiet for a long minute or 2 and wouldn't look at me. I reached over and touched her hand lightly and told her that I wasn't upset, I just wanted to know what was going on and wanted her to explain. Basically, she told me this, she had always sort of resented my exes, Hannah especially, since I had told her about them. It wasn't about if we were in secret contact with each other, more like she was curious about them. She wanted to see what I had seen in them, and she couldn't make a fake Facebook profile because people can sniff those out instantly and would just delete her or not accept her friend request. She told me Instagram was ideal because strangers follow each other all the time and people are follower whores and just accept anyone if they are on private. She told me people tend to post more of their life on Instagram anyway because it's so quick to upload a picture. She wanted to glimpse into their lives and see if they were really that extraordinary. I told her I could understand the morbid curiosity of checking out an ex of mine, but why were there normal girls from my life on there too? She told me, rather reluctantly, that she had some bottled up jealousies about them, especially one girl who I work with who is in a band and whose music I thought was okay. She said that she couldn't compete with some of these girls' talents because she didn't have them, and what started as a small curiosity became an obsession with them and what they do. After she told me all of this, a lot of little things started to click. Claire had begun to point things out in stores and ask me if I liked them, even though they were very far from anything she'd like, furniture, clothing, etc. She had seen exes/girls post these things on their Instagrams and was actually checking to see if I was compatible with their tastes. She also used to like indie bands a lot, but ever since getting to know about the girl at work who's in a band, she has completely dropped the genre and began to bash it a little if a song would come on the radio. She has also asked me about seemingly innocent things like a different hairstyle or color, or even what I would think about certain tattoos. One ex of mine has a full sleeve. These things were very unclear. She has this super clean fashionista look/style, but I really just assumed she was trying to branch out or something. Never in a million years would I have guessed it was because she was checking out my exes on Instagram. I told her that I understood her curiosity, but that it wasn't healthy or helpful. She might follow these people on Instagram, but she doesn't actually know them. She doesn't know if they are good people, if they are even interesting people beyond what they post. I told her to think about how many really extraordinary people she actually meets, and how likely it is that any of these girls are the super amazing people she thinks they are. I pointed out how easy it is for people to make a fake persona online, using her Cecilia as an example. I told her Hannah was just a girl I had dated as a teenager, and I grew up and realized what real love was. She was nodding a lot and agreeing with me, and the conversation seemed to be going well. Then I asked her to delete the account, and she sort of just froze up. She said what did it matter, she wasn't contacting them or harassing them, she was just looking at their pictures. I told her she was fueling an assumption she had about them and that it wasn't healthy to continue to obsess over them. She got angry that I used the word obsess and asked me if I thought she was crazy as well. Is that what you think? That I'm just some crazy obsessed person? Because, you know what I think is crazy? It's crazy to have been in love with someone who cheated on you, and you went after her after she did it. And she continued to cheat on you. And you still went after her. I don't think you'd ever go after me. You've told me that. You've said cheating was a deal breaker and that would be it. But it wasn't for Hannah. You cried, you went after her, so that means she had something I don't. And yeah, maybe it's a little out there with the account and all, but it's the only way I can know for sure. Honestly, Mike, I don't even know what you saw in her. Was it the bad taste in furniture or the brand name obsession? But hey, I'm the crazy one, right? I'm obsessed. I just sort of sat there open-mouthed at that whole thing, and she got up to leave. She said she was very sorry, but she couldn't be in this conversation right now, and she would come back when she was ready to be level-headed. That was about 2 hours ago, and she's still not home. Honestly, I'm not sure where to go from here. We have always been able to work out our differences, and she has never quite just exploded on me like that before, so I know this issue is very different from anything we've experienced before. I would really like if she deleted her account and would stop ruminating about these women who have no bearing on our lives anymore, but obviously just touching the subject of it is too much for her right now. Any advice on what to say to her when she's back would be great. Final update. First of all, I want to say a million thanks to everyone who commented. Thank you to everyone who gave advice and those who shared their own experiences with this sort of thing. I want to especially thank those of you who told me about your experience being in my wife's shoes. It has helped immensely to know that this seems to be a much more common issue than I had initially believed. Claire came home around 4 and approached me to talk. She apologized for blowing up, for the account, for lying, and for walking out on our argument like that. She acknowledged that she was in the wrong and that she knew her actions were immature. We sat down and talked for a long time about all the things she had been bottling up. It turns out, like many of you guys mentioned in the comments, that she had this idealized view of what my relationship was like with Hannah. I took your advice and explained to her that I was a stupid teen, and Hannah was certainly not the one that got away. I had chased her back then because I had little self-respect. She accepted that, but she still looked like she was bottling something, so I told her to speak freely. From what she said, I can say this: sometimes when we speak about our exes, we forget that the other person hasn't been in our shoes. They don't realize who this person was as we did, so there were a lot of little things she grabbed onto that I had told her. For example, I told her how when I was with Hannah I would sleep on a park bench outside her house whenever her dad kicked me out because he didn't want some guy staying overnight. She held on to that, and she told me that it was a little sad to her because she felt that spoke a lot about the extent I was willing to go for Hannah. Of course, we have never been in a situation that would warrant me doing that for Claire, so she has no idea if I'd do that for her or not. I would. But again, I was a teenage boy and my family life wasn't so great, so sleeping on a bench in a coat outside my girlfriend's house wasn't such a big deal to me. We spoke about the other exes and women on the list, and went through each one and why she felt the way she did. It was a long conversation. But it was also very enlightening. There were a lot of things I told her that I had forgotten about, but clearly she had not. Almost every time, it came down to her feeling like they had something she did not, or that I had shared an experience with them that we could not share, going on a trip together, being with me when I had major reconstructive surgery, being with me when my brother died. I told her I loved her very much, and that obviously none of these girls had cut it because it was Claire I was married to. And then she said, yeah, but I feel that if Hannah had never cheated on you, that would have been who you married. She looked extremely sad while saying it. I told her honestly that we could never know for sure because things did not turn out that way, but that most likely not. I would have eventually grown up and gotten over the wow of Hannah and moved on with my life. After all this talking, she logged into the Instagram and let me watch her delete the account. She promised me to stop Insta stalking and that she would try to be upfront with me when she felt insecure about someone. I said to her, very carefully, I understand. And if you ever think that just talking to me isn't helping, or maybe you want a different opinion, we could always do something like couples therapy so we could all get some perspective on the matter. She took it very well and agreed. I do think perhaps Claire would benefit from therapy, but I feel that is a choice she has to make on her own. I already put the suggestion out there and let her know it's okay if that needs to be an option. Like I've said, she's never been one to be dramatic or cause issues, so this is a very unique situation and I am much more understanding of it now that we talked and I've read so many similar experiences from the comments. Again, I want to thank everyone who helped. You guys are honestly amazing and so much better than a $300/hour counselor.